Judges and guests, please help me welcome the team from Memorial University of Newfoundland and their faculty advisor, Lynn Morrissey.
Enactus
Memorial.
More than they
ever imagined. Stories like these can be found all across our country. And this year, Enactus Memorial ran 13 projects to address these needs right here at home.
We take pride in the over 6,900 people we've helped this year, not just because we've helped them generate over $1.6 million in revenue, but because along the way, we've built relationships for their continued success.
Our projects are much more than just one-day training sessions, but instead, we focus on long-term relationship building so that we get to know the people, understand their needs and expectations, and give them our expertise for the best shot at success.
To ensure sustainable impact, each of our projects is developed through 3 phases. In Phase 1, volunteers perform needs assessments, develop innovative approaches, and pilot these concepts.
After evaluating the pilot and concepts are proven, projects move to Phase 2 and experience significant growth.
Finally, in Phase 3, we continue to evaluate our programs to ensure their long-term impact as they enter sustainability and are ready to run on their own.
Today, we'll walk you through one project from each phase, and at the end of our presentation, we'll highlight 3 other initiatives. As we go through each project, please refer to the relevant Enactus criteria at the top of the screen.
We'll start with the Phase 1 project.
Persistence and dedication. Growing up, you learned the meaning of hard work. Long, strenuous days of labor are what you know best. However, due to a growing concern for environmental sustainability and rising electricity costs, you are now faced with the reality of boarding up your family's business forever.
In Newfoundland and Labrador, we have lost over 1/5 of our farms in the past decade alone. And while the number of farms in Canada continues to diminish, agriculture remains responsible for 10% of our greenhouse gas emissions. So this year, we created a green culture, a project that provides cost-saving, eco-friendly solutions to farms in our province.
Recognizing that farming doesn't happen in a boardroom, we decided to get our hands dirty to better understand green farming technology. We visited Canada's 3rd largest dairy farm and consulted with industry experts, including the Federation of Agriculture and the Egg Farmers of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Recognizing the complexity of green technology, we developed a 125-page manual outlining how to implement and fund these solutions, which include biogas, composting, and solar energy. Using this manual, we are now conducting individualized needs assessments at 5 farms.
We began our first assessment at Hamer Farms, who were looking to cut down on their over $26,000 annual energy bill. We determined that the farm produced over 2,700 tons of chicken manure each year that could be used as a renewable energy source by implementing a biogas generator.
We then conducted a feasibility study to evaluate using this alternate energy source. From this study, we determined the generator could utilize their chicken manure to create over 500,000 kilowatt hours of energy worth more than $50,000 annually. This will eliminate their electricity bill and also offer green energy to neighboring farms.
This biogas generator requires an investment of $250,000 by Hamer Farm, with an expected return on investment within 5 to 10 years, after which the farm will continue to financially benefit for at least 20 years, helping to ensure the future of this family business.
But not all green investments are so large in scale. Our assessment at New Mink Farm determined the viability of an industrial composter that would completely eliminate their organic waste, the cost of which would be paid back in just 2 years.
While all this progress is incredible, it represents just the first phase of this program. In Phase 2, we'll be working with farms to acquire funding for their new green technologies, begin implementation of these solutions, and ensure early operations run smoothly.
In Phase 3, farmers will begin to see return on their investment and develop sustainable practices. We will then work with them to encourage environmental sustainability and best practice sharing through community partnerships.
To summarize, let's take a look at agriculture's triple bottom line. Socially, farmers in our province are now gaining the tools and knowledge to ensure their family business will continue to run for future generations.
In terms of economics, each green solution offers unique economic value. Hamer Farms will save over $26,000 annually through their biogas generator.
And environmentally, Hamer Farm will generate over 500,000 kilowatt hours of renewable electricity annually, and Newming Farm will completely utilize their organic waste.
Next up is a Phase 2 project that has seen significant growth this year.
Picture waking up knowing your only source of income was other people's trash. Regardless of the weather, you have to spend a 10-hour day dumpster diving, looking for recyclables. Worrying about how you will support your family on a mere $40 per day. This is the unfortunate reality for many people across our country.
In Newfoundland and Labrador, customers pay a bottle deposit on a variety of materials and get it back when they're returned to a depot. Despite this incentive, our province remains the worst in Canada when it comes to recycling. Some members of our community push carts and collect recyclables to support themselves. Overlooked by society, these individuals lack the skills to generate the economic return necessary to live day to day. Seeing the unique entrepreneurial potential these individuals have and the value of just one recyclable, we created Project Bottlepreneur.
Last year in Phase 1, we piloted our program working with our first bottlepreneur, Gervais, to develop a project model consisting of efficient collection routes, a door-to-door marketing campaign, and professional development sessions.
This year, we've taken what we've learned from our pilot and substantially expanded our program, working with Glenn, Clinton, Rob, Grenfell, and Ricky, redefining the recycling habits of 2 major cities in our province.
The process of Project Bottlepreneur is quite simple. Households put their recyclables out on designated days, and bottlepreneurs come by and pick them up. To recruit these households, this year, we built on our door-to-door marketing campaign by going on television, radio, and online through social media and a website, allowing customers to sign up to our program anytime.
This year, we made our bottlepreneurs' safety a top priority. We started by developing a new collection cart in partnership with Nalcor Energy and our Faculty of Engineering. To fund future safety initiatives, we teamed up with Coca-Cola to create bottlepreneur recycling bins that are placed in strategic locations around our city.
For years, like most people, I drove by these individuals and looked the other way. But last February, I decided I was going to make a change. So I stopped my car and met Gervais. Being a part of his success has been life-changing for me. But what's truly inspirational is what this program has meant to him. Now let's hear what Gervais has to say.
I was nothing in the beginning. Now that I'm somebody in my business and now, over the course of a whole year, this is just blowing right up, you know what I mean? And there's still a lot more to do, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. Nobody else cared about me, you know? You guys will help me even if I fail, you know what I mean? That means the world to me, right? It makes me want to cry sometimes when I'm alone, right? I'm saving money. It's a lot more money than what I was making when I was in the dumpsters. Keeping a tight budget makes you feel good, you know what I mean? And I can actually go to a grocery store and buy food for myself. If anybody asks me what kind of job you got, I can actually tell them what kind of job I have.
What's even more amazing is that Gervais is not alone. Ricky, our newest participant, faced literacy challenges and had difficulty reading maps and street names, so we adapted our approach by drawing landmarks and pictures to guide him on his route. He's now proud to offer his households a weekly recycling service.
Glenn, a participant of only 4 months, now has the confidence to go door-to-door himself, ensuring customer satisfaction and continued growth. He now organizes his own weekly pickup from 2 apartment complexes.
Our bottlepreneurs used to earn a mere $4 per hour. Now, they make an average of $20, but they're making much more than just economic impact, as this year, they've recycled over 600,000 bottles and cans, while providing a weekly recycling service to over 1,300 homes.
To facilitate further expansion, this year, we created a Bottlepreneur franchise model, explaining how to effectively run the program in other communities. We're excited to be working with the Enactus team in Clarenville and the Green Depot in Labrador City, offering these towns their first professional recycling service.
To summarize, let's take a look at Project Bottlepreneur's triple bottom line. Socially, our 6 Bottlepreneurs now feel like valued members of their communities and have the confidence to pursue entrepreneurial ventures.
In terms of economics, our Bottlepreneurs have increased their hourly revenue, and in his first full year in the program, my friend Gervais has earned enough money to put him over the national poverty line for the first time in his life.
And environmentally, our Bottlepreneurs have recycled over 600,000 bottles and cans this year.
Now, let's take a look at a sustainable Phase 3 project.
Envision leaving the only job you've ever known and starting a new life, not knowing what your future will hold. As you reintegrate into civilian life, finding a source of income to support your family can be daunting. The unfortunate reality for many veterans is that their unique skills often cannot be applied to traditional work. This leaves them lost in a new life.
Every year, thousands of Canadian Forces members leave the military, turning to assistance programs to reintegrate into civilian life. In 2008, we were approached by the Department of National Defence to design the only recognized entrepreneurial transition program in the Canadian military. So we created a free-of-charge entrepreneurial bootcamp.
Last year, our program was recognized by the Prince of Wales as the best entrepreneurial transition program in the Commonwealth. So this year, we officially launched a 3-year, $2.2 million partnership with the Prince's Charities Canada to create the Prince's Operation Entrepreneur, a 2-part program.
Here's how it works. In Part 1, veterans attend our entrepreneurial bootcamp where they learn all about running their own business from professors and industry experts. In the evenings, these aspiring entrepreneurs work one-on-one with all of our volunteers to apply what they've learned in the classroom to their business plans.
To ensure we're meeting the needs of our participants, we focus on continuous improvement of our boot camp through comprehensive course evaluations and ongoing support from our volunteers.
In Part 2, we provide these entrepreneurs with access to financing and mentoring from the Canadian Youth Business Foundation, helping them to kickstart their new ventures and ensuring their long-term success.
Prince's Operation Entrepreneur works, and the results speak for themselves. After serving 2 tours overseas, Brian took the business skills he learned in our program to generate $70,000 in revenues this year.
And after serving 25 years as a search and rescue technician, Dave is turning his expertise into a profitable business and is proud to employ 3 veterans like himself. Let's hear what other participants had to say.
My expectations coming into this were pretty high, and I don't have enough words to describe how much they've exceeded every expectation that I had.
The amount of information from marketing, from research, from accounting, legals is invaluable.
I feel like I've done an MBA in a week.
I asked the question when I first arrived, why are you guys doing this? And what was said to me was because we want to give back to you.
The hospitality, the friendship, the eagerness to do anything that you need to do is outstanding.
For a while, I've been wondering what I'm going to be doing with my new life after I get out of the military. I've always wanted to start a business. Now I have some tools in the toolbox to do that. And it's all because of this program.
Yeah, this place is absolutely awesome.
Last summer, we hosted 19 deserving men and women at our university. And this summer, our volunteers will not only be running the program at Memorial, but mentoring volunteers at universities in Saskatchewan and Quebec, allowing our program to be offered in both official languages to 60 deserving veterans. And this is just the beginning.
In just a few years, we plan to further expand the Prince's Operation Entrepreneur across Canada and to other countries within the Commonwealth, training over 700 military personnel each year.
To summarize, let's take a look at Prince's Operation Entrepreneur's triple bottom line. Socially, these Canadian Forces members now have the skills and confidence to pursue their entrepreneurial dreams.
In terms of economics, 19 entrepreneurs have created 36 jobs and generated over $1.2 million in revenue this year.
And environmentally, we've incorporated eco-friendly business practices into the curriculum and conducted 9 green audits, identifying ways for businesses to reduce waste and increase savings.
Now, let's take a quick look at 3 other successful initiatives.
Our province has the lowest retention rate for new Canadians, so this year we created World at Work, a social enterprise providing valuable self-employment opportunities for these individuals. Through our professional development sessions and one-of-a-kind website, already 6 new Canadians are proud to be offering their services ranging from tutoring to housekeeping. To ensure program sustainability, we formed a 3-year, $45,000 partnership with the John Dobson Foundation, and together we're helping new Canadians call our province home.
FYI, our financial literacy application for high school students was developed in 2010. On pace with its original project timeline, this year FYI successfully transitioned into a mandatory high school course in our provincial education system. To facilitate this handover, we did a cross-province tour impacting over 1,900 students while training their teachers on how to run the program in classrooms for years to come.
Be Green is our youth environmental program for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada. In its 5 years of operation, Be Green has impacted over 3,700 youth in 46 clubs across all 10 provinces, making it the first Enactus program in Canada to achieve this level of national reach. This year, Be Green was successfully handed off to the Boys and Girls Clubs, allowing them to run the program on their own and continue making their clubs cleaner and greener.
This year, David, Christian, Allison, and 70 other volunteers dedicated over 20,000 volunteer hours
to a green culture, bottlepreneur, Prince's Operation Entrepreneur, and 10 other projects
that help Cafe Roubaix, Engravable Designs, Elite Productions, and 47 other businesses create 62 jobs and generate over $1.6 million in revenue this year.
At Enactus Memorial, we continue to ensure our environmental sustainability by green auditing our entire organization and offsetting over 400,000 kilometers in air travel.
This year, our efforts have garnered recognition and letters of support from the Prince of Wales and the Prime Minister of Canada.
But most importantly, by addressing the needs right here at home, we've helped Michael, Ricky, Dave, and over 6,900 others recognize that they are more than a statistic.
More than their limitations.
More than what has defined them.
They are more than just a face in the crowd.
More than an unprepared youth.
More than the generations before them.
And they are more than they ever imagined they could be.
Thank you.
Thank you, Enactus, for making me who I am today.
We will now begin the question and answer period. Judges, please raise your hand to indicate you have a question, and a microphone will be brought to you.
On Project Green Culture, what were your quantifiable results for the past year?
So for agriculture, we started that program this year, and what we've really focused on, because of the fact that farms really are starting to diminish within our province, it was a big issue to make sure that we did this and we did it right. So we want to go into that farm. If we're going to make a change, we want them to see a large outcome from that change and make sure it works, and that they're going to see benefit, save money, and keep their doors open longer. So we've taken the time this year to create the 125-page manual, to consult with farms, the Federation of Agriculture, Egg Farmers of Newfoundland, to make sure we have everything in place to make sure it's working. So we've now conducted 5 audits across farms, and we're beginning to acquire funding for the biogas generator, which is going to cost $250,000. So that's going to take us the next summer to acquire funding for that. But in terms of measurable results, this week when we get back home, we're working with a farm called Stevens Farm in Lewisport on our island, where we'll be changing all their light bulbs over to LED lights, and they'll be able to save electricity as well as save some money through those electrical costs when we get there right away.
In the Bottlepreneur program, you've mentioned that they're making up to $20 an hour. I'm trying to get an idea, though, how much they're making on a weekly or monthly basis. So how many hours are they working so we can get a better idea as to their annual wages?
For sure. The $20 an hour, essentially, bottlepreneurs operate, a lot of the times, their routes are fairly large. It can come to almost a fifth of our city. So the bottlepreneurs' hours, while they're picking up recyclables, is around 4 to 5 hours, but they'll also have about an hour commute from their home with their shopping cart to the region where they're going to pick up those recyclables. So on a per year basis, as Gervais has been there for 12 months this year, he's made just over $24,000 in his first year with the program.
outstanding job. Can you maybe quickly walk us through the process where you identify which projects you choose and how you respond to a need?
Certainly. We have so many needs in our community, and we really recognize that even, in our commute from home to school, that's where John saw Gervais. So there's so many needs right in our city that we see that we really need to meet. So we do have a lot of criteria when it comes to deciding what programs to take on. So of course we do start with a needs assessment, deciding really what this person or this group needs from us, and whether we do have the resources to do that. So within our criteria, one of the really important things we look at is resources. We're all volunteers. We're here on our own time. We want to make sure that we have the human resources as well as the capital to really do a project and do it right. So I think that's our #1 priority, is making sure we can provide the appropriate resources and the appropriate help to the people in need. So as we select projects, that's definitely something. And of course, time management. We have 13 projects running this year, and we really make it important to bring a project right through from the needs assessment to phase 3 and sustainability, and making sure that the impact is continuing even when we step back and continue to innovate and create new projects. So really long-term sustainability and resources are our main criteria.
Awesome program, guys. I'd like to, obviously incredibly successful program, but tell me about your biggest failure and your biggest learning from that failure.
Yeah, so with our World at Work program, which we quickly highlighted at the end there, one of the big things that we ran into there was, our province has a very aggressive immigration strategy. We're always looking for the best and brightest of not only our country and our province, but all across the world. So we have a very aggressive immigration strategy. But we found that a lot of the immigrants were leaving our province looking for work. So in order to sort of address that need and find the right target group that we were working with World at Work, we had to reach out to a variety of different organizational partners that we have. So, we consulted with the Department of Immigration, we consulted with the Association for New Canadians to try to reach out to these individuals. So once we did that, we found that we still couldn't find these individuals who might be able to partake in our program and apply some of their skills to this type of social enterprise. So once we did that, we just got down to the grassroots work of volunteering, and we just started knocking on doors, knocking on community organizations, told them who we are, what we're all about, and they were all over it. They just loved the idea of the program, they loved the support that they could offer us, and they just sent us in the right direction. And we're proud to say now that we have 6 individuals working in our program who have made over $600, secured 2
Your time has expired. Your time has expired. Judges and guests, please help me in thanking the team from Memorial University of Newfoundland.